yet for my PDFs, but they will be there. All right, so I have a couple different sizes of box. So we are flat, in case you're looking away. We're back in one place. So I have a couple different boxes. This one, I have Bermuda Bay. So you can see these are a little bit different size-wise. So it kind of depends on how much stuff you want to give. Here's a much smaller one with Flirty Flamingo. And then there's a really big one with just jade. So just so you can see the different sizes. Now, I only wrote down measurements for 3 of these, but they're pretty easy. So if you wanted one of the in-between ones that I didn't measure. So what I'm going to do is, do you have some coffee to share? I drank it all. 10 cups we had today, and I think I drank 8 of them. But we're going to work on these boxes because they're pretty simple. And then I'll show you about the card that we're going to make. So I am going to keep my paper trimmer handy because I didn't do any of the DSP cutting yet. I just have the boxes, but they're really, really simple. And I'm going to show you. I have all of my DSP here. So you could even do this with these little pieces here that you can die cut. So it is a fun technique for the card portion. And then again, I do have the Snailed It bundle here. And if for some reason I don't usually buy Valentine's or Easter sets because I never seem to end up being able to use it in time. So Itty Bitty Greetings, which is retiring, which I will tell you I'm not really sad about because a lot of these greetings sometimes I feel like they are just a little bit too small. I wish they were a tiny bit bigger, but I did order a really great one that I'm hoping to share with you when I get it. So you could use Easter Blessings unless you happen to have a different Easter stamp set. You could use that if you want to make this an Easter card. So I'm just kind of going with a springy card, but you could always make it into Easter if you wanted to. So for these, this one is 10.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to grab my T-square just to make sure I'm not fibbing. No, this one is the 7 1/8. 7 1/8. This one is 7 1/8. By 10 5/8 if you wanted to have a really big box. Okay, so I'm going to put this one in as number 1. Just going to put a 1 here just in case. So again, most of the scoring for this is very similar. The only thing that's going to change is the side marks, but everything else is pretty much the same. So for this box on the 10.5 inch side, you would score it at 2, 5, 7, and 10. And then on the sides, you're going to score it at 1 1/4 on each side. So usually what I'll do is I'll 1 1/4 and then I'll rotate it. And then I'll do 1 1/4 again. That way it's even. So even if my measurements, if I didn't measure it exactly right, I know that the scoring is even. So it will match up that way. Okay, so that's 1. And I don't know, all it's telling me is 8,000 times that Colleen is watching, which I already know Facebook. You can move on. So if you guys have a preference as to which one you would like to make, let me know. This one is a little bit smaller. I think this one is the 5.5, yes, by 6 5/8. Maybe this one isn't the one I wrote down, 6 5/8. Just gonna make myself a note. So I'm gonna call this one number 2. And this one will be the same way. You're going to score it. Nope, this one is going to be at 2, 3, 5, and 6. And then 1 1/8 on each side. Okay, so same thing. You'll score it 1 1/8, rotate it, scoring 1 1/8. So this is the largest that I have, and then this is the smallest. And then I have 2 of them that are kind of in between. These are the same length. They're just a little bit larger. Just depends on if you want to put a little bit more in on the inside or not. So these measure the same. I believe they are, again, 10 5/8. This one's by 5.5. And this one is by probably 6. Yeah, 5.5 and 6. So for the 6 inch, you'll score it 1 on each side. For this one, it's 1 1/8. So just depends on if you have a preference. I'm just going to go with this one for right now. So what we're going to do is for this one, I just want to write down a couple things. I think these were 3 1/4 by 3. So I would need 2 pieces of DSP. So here and here, actually just the top, 3 1/4 by 3. And then the other one you would need 2 because you would have the back and the front. So it's again 3 1/4 by 2. And that one you will need 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut a couple pieces for that, just so I have a little something. And I'm going to go with something really very, I'll say non-Eastery, but it also could be Eastery if you wanted it to be. So the width is 3 1/4, and the length is 3 1/4. The width is 3. So I'm going to actually take this down to 2 7/8 by 3 1/8. That will be for the larger. And then 1 7/8. Oh, fibbledy-foo. Did I just do these backwards? I feel like I did. Nope, that one's right. Okay, so far I'm good. Don't lose your mind, Rach. But this one will be... yeah, this one is goof. This one I boo-booed up. So we're going to go with 3 1/8 by 1 7/8. Is that right? 1 7/8. Yeah. And even though the little pieces don't match up, I'm not too broken up by that. And then I don't think I have another piece for that one. So we might have to piece that together from another slice. Here we go. So I want this one at, what are we here? 3 1/8. I'm just going to take off a piece to 1 7/8 by 3 1/8. Okay, so then this will be my top piece here. Actually, this is the top because here's the lip. Here. I'm going to put this one upside down because I want it to actually be directionally correct. And then this one will be here, which is going to end up being backwards. So I hope that makes sense. I'm not going to put anything on the sides again, okay? So I'm just going to tell you this one more time just from the start. Let me move these over and then move them back because it's being really strange. Yep, everybody's still in there, I can see. So this one measures 5 1/2 by 10 5/8 approximately. And then on the long side, so 10 5/8, you're going to score it at 2 inches, 5 inches, 7 inches, and 10 inches. And then you're going to score it on each side at 1 1/8, turn it around, 1 1/8. Okay, so that's where we are. So I have my DSP. So what I'm going to do now is just trim this up and run my bone folder over it so I have nice crisp edges. And just in case you are following along, I will post all the measurements to my blog once I get some time. Since we are on spring break, I should be able to do it at some point tomorrow. Okay. So there are all of our fold lines. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip all of these. And I'm actually going to cut just to one side and to the other side. That way I kind of cut out my score line. I hope that makes sense. Okay. And same thing here. So I'm kind of just taking that little score line off, if you will. And then I'm going to remove this whole piece, but I'm going to notch this. This will be the flap. Just going to take this off. I'm going to try to be a little bit more precise right here since this is going to be a hard corner that will stay in. Okay, so same thing again. I'm just trimming this little score line. It's only just a smidge, you can see, that I'm removing. It's just a sliver. It's not very much. Just kind of cutting on either side of it. I think tomorrow we're going to hopefully be able to attend the live Stations of the Cross since we've kind of resumed church again with don't want to say with school, but with being able to go back a little bit to some more normalcy. So also one other thing I want to point out is this is going to have these little flat pieces because I didn't want to make this so long that it covered it just for the heck of it. But when you close it, it will close over. So it overlaps, okay? So you aren't going to have that full flap coverage here. But I figured really I didn't want to totally mess up the paper. So I wasn't going to waste paper just to fill that up, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and apply my DSP. And I just want to make sure that I have this correct. So I'm going to put this here. This is going to be my closing flap. This will be the top. And I'm going to just use liquid glue because that tends to be the easiest if you need to adjust it a little bit. So my blog, this you could also use this side if you didn't want to use the snails. My blog is rachthestamper.com. But I'm going to tell you, I don't actually have PDFs. On my blog, I hate to say this, it sounds like I'm being snotty, but I 100% am not. I don't really have the time to make a PDF for that. I do make them for my giveaways, but I don't make them for these cards. However, I do give the full instructions on every single card that I make that goes onto my blog, unless it's a really, really simple, just want to grab a glue. Unless it's a really, really simple design. So sorry, I had to grab a new glue. But I do have all of the card recipes on there. So hopefully you'll be able to find that. But it is rachthestamper.com. Oh yeah, much better. Ooh, that's a little too much glue, but that's okay. So what I usually do when I put this down is I kind of give it a little wiggle to spread some of that glue around a little bit. And then make sure I like the way it is placed. All right, so there's one. Now, you can see this is going to be our lid. And I should have gotten a little bit closer to the edge. Hold on one second while this isn't dry. I'm going to go a little bit closer. I hear some of my friends watching had snow today. Boy, what a cruel April Fool's joke that was, huh? Mother's Nature goes all the way when she's doing those. But anyway, this is going to be this way. So I don't want to glue this facing up and it'll be upside down. So I'm going to flip this just like that. So I'm just trying to glue it directionally. Okay. So it's not going to match. Oops. It's not going to look like it looks the same. But once the box is built, it won't matter anyway. So it's not like people are going to necessarily inspect the way you have this. And then the final one is going to go this way. So if you wanted a little bit more mushroom, you could certainly cut your paper a little bit better, but I think it's fine. But anyway, we did get to go to Palm Sunday Mass last week, which was really, really nice. And I have to tell you, we have always had people who sing in church along with the choir, you know, is usually your volunteers. These people had an absolutely incredible, oh my gosh, incredible voice. I mean, people were wowing, which is pretty amazing for church, I think, anyway. So I am going to put some bigger pieces of adhesive here, because you could use liquid glue if you want, but I feel like I always want to make sure that it's actually closing. So I'm going to use tear and tape, but I'm not going to use huge pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put it right here on the bottom. I think I made this one just a teeny bit too big. So the point of my story was, though, that we did get to go to Palm Sunday Mass, but we had to do a sign-up genius. So we won't be going to Easter Mass because it was full. So we'll be watching Easter Mass on YouTube again, which kind of makes me a little sad. But, you know, at least we got in there for Palm Sunday. I did get a lot of palm, so that made me happy. So I'm going to just put those down, but I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue just so I make sure that I get enough. If you wanted it a little bit higher, you could also put just a teeny bit of liquid glue here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these. And And I do have the privilege that since I do work at a Catholic school, I can, if I want to, every day kind of go in and say a prayer. So I usually do that at lunchtime. Not every single day, but most days I try to. But something about Stations of the Cross. I really always loved going to Stations of the Cross. I know it might sound a little strange, but I don't know. I think it just really gives me a bigger appreciation for this time of year and, you know, what Jesus went through for us. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to bring this in, and I'm just trying to make sure that they're pretty square. Just like so. Now, obviously, one thing with this box, hold on, this one didn't stick as well as I wanted to. You're going to have to use some ribbon to keep this closed. So we do have lots of options, although there are lots of ribbons that are retiring. Actually, believe it or not, I think there are more that are staying for once. You could also use the baker's twine that matches up with this, which would be a really great effect as well. I guess if you wanted to, you could even do a little bit of miter cutting here, and then you could fold this inside, but I kind of like it outside better. I put the front flap in, and coincidentally, and this was purely by luck, so don't think I did this one. Look how well that lined up. Boy, if that wasn't some fate right there. Some fate. Hey, Sherry. I didn't know you were watching from Arkansas. I think you probably have said that before, and I probably tell you every time that I have a lot of relatives in Arkansas. Now, I do really like the ribbon that is the Flowers for All Seasons ribbon. It's actually 3 different ones. So this one's really nice because it's a nice sized ribbon, and you can make a beautiful, beautiful bow out of it. You also can use your Stampin' Blends if you wanted to color this to match whatever you were working with. So I'm just going to give myself, I'm going to try and do a really quick little bow, which sometimes is easier said than done, specifically when you're live. There, see, I folded that side, but that's okay. And let's see. Might have to be one where one goes up and one goes down. I think that's the way we're going to have to do it this time. But I am looking forward to having some pierogies. We're still just, we're going to my in-laws. We're not doing nearly as much as we have in Easter's past, but I do have my butter bunny. My grandfather always loved getting the bunnies that were shaped. So I get one for every season now. I have a turkey butter. I have a tree butter for Christmas. I have my bunny butter. And one year, I will tell you, hilariously, he made a lamb. So there's our box. So it's pretty cute. We could trim this up a little bit if we wanted to. It will fit, and then the nice part is too, with this ribbon, the way it works, it's easy for them to get it off if they don't want to open it. But it will fit a good amount of treat stuff in here. Of course, I don't have anything up here with me because I didn't think that far ahead, and I'm trying to look around and see all the stuff that, oh, you know what? I have treats. Hold on. I forgot. I did forget. Hold on. Let me try these because I have a bag of Easter stuff up here that's hidden. So you can see what may fit in there. Oh, there you go. So for size, you know how big these suckers are. Oops, there's a piece of my hair. These are my absolute favorite, by the way. Look at that. You can fit 3. I don't think we get 4. Nope. Unless we moved it. You could get one in the back. Now we'll smush them. So you can fit 3, and these are the full size peanut butter eggs. You could fit 3 of them in there, so that's pretty good. And boy, now that I opened them, they smell really, really good. And then the other thing I have, if you wanted to go smaller, I'll show you. You could definitely do some Kit Kat minis. You could fit a lot of these in here. You can see that's 4, 6, 7, 8. So you could probably fit 9 or, yeah, 9 of those. That's a lot. So do those. And then also I have the Hershey's miniatures, but I think you get the drift, so I don't want to keep flashing all this chocolate. Then the other thing is too, sometimes if I see it, then I'm going to start eating it. And eating while you're filming a video is totally rude because you can't share the chocolate, which I think is just mean. Especially for people who might have given it up for Lent. But anyway, you have lots of great stuff there. So I am going to move on to the card now. And I'm going to show you what I meant with the card. So I have my piece already cut. So I'm going to just do this very last one. So basically for this one, since this one is going the correct direction, I already did 2 that were the opposite. So I'm just going to take this, and I have a little piece of tape. I just want to tape it just to make sure. So I'm just going to tape this in place, and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. That was so flat, it didn't sound like it cut at all. So I have these pieces, and I think I'm going to do this on red. And I have my other 4 here. I even thought you could do something with a little envelope, but we're going to see for that. What I'm going to do, though, you could do this with dimensionals if you wanted to, but I'm going to actually break out my actual adhesive that has our double-sided foam. So I have that. There's one piece, and here's another one. I'm not going to use the fun foam this time. I'm almost out. I almost finished with my fun foam, so I will permanently be on this from now on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just die cut this, and I'm just going to use just some scrap pieces. I'm going to run this through 4 times with the fun foam, or the double-sided adhesive foam. Probably should have done these ahead of time, but I forgot. So there's one, and I'm just going to do. And you know, you could even just do this as a spotlight, kind of as somebody said, and just do one of these popped up and the other one's flat. But hold on one second, because I want to do all 4 so you understand what it is I'm trying to get at here. And maybe it makes more sense, and then the technique will come to someone's mind of what I call this. Oh, you know what? I was wondering, was it called like an eclipse technique? Maybe that's something different. The eclipse might have been the one where you had the layers of stuff. Maybe not. All right, so there's my 4th one. So again, this could be just a simple card. You could do this with any of the other DSPs that we have, as long as you have a die, or maybe if you have a Brother Scan and Cut and you wanted to do this, or if you have a Joy for fussy cutting. So kind of you could call it a lot of different things. I'm going to do it on red just because there is some red on here, but also to make it pop. I just happen to have a piece cut out. Normally I would have done this on a vertical card, but we'll just do this. So this piece was cut at 4 by 5 1/4, so it's just a 1/4 inch shorter all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and fold my cardstock, and this is real red cardstock. And in case you happen to be new to Stampin' Up, the nice part about Stampin' Up is everything coordinates. Everything color coordinates. This side would be absolutely adorable too, but your little speech bubbles would make no sense whatsoever. But if you get a red, you don't have to worry about if it's going to match. I'm going to put a little bit in between here. It's going to match because it's all the same color exactly. Because I've done that in the past where when I was first starting out, I was like, well, I'll just get black from Michael's. It's fine. And the one thing that surprised me more than anything, with black, it wasn't so big of a deal, except for the cardstock was so flimsy. It wouldn't even stand up when I made a base. And I thought, okay, so I gave that to somebody. I'm like, I'm sure you'll use this for layering. But the nice part about this is if you have a red, you don't have to worry about, is your red going to match? It matches. That's the beauty of it, which is wonderful. So I'm going to take all of my little pieces, and I'm going to take off the one side of adhesive. If you're worried at all that you might not line it up correctly, you can just put a teeny bit of liquid glue, just like so. And we're going to just kind of stick this on. I'm trying to make sure that I line it up with the point. Okay, so there's that. And I believe that one goes there, but I'm not going to put them on yet just to make sure. All right, here's number 2. Another thing that kind of came to me when I was die cutting this earlier, since I was thinking about Easter, is that you could also make this into a little chick head, and it would have like a beak almost on it. So if you wanted to cut one of these out, maybe in yellow, and you could put a little black dot for an eye. I don't know. I'm always seeing things sometimes not exactly how they are. All right, and then we have our 2 other ones. So here's one here. And we're having rain again here. It just started rain. Oh my gosh, it's snowing. Look at that. It's snowing. I was looking out the window. Well, Ohio friends, I finally got your snow. That is totally 150% crazy. I was just figuring I was going to look out and see rain. Nope, it's snowing. April Fool's to me. We got it finally. All right, and you can have your snow back, by the way. I don't really want it. All right, so these are going to just pop up. So same thing again. I'm going to just peel the backing off. If there's any fear that you might not line it up correctly, again, just put a little bit. Doesn't need to be a lot, but the liquid glue just kind of helps you be able to move it a little bit. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to, go by lining up the point like so. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So then you have like this little raised part. What do we call this? I can't remember. I have absolutely no idea what we call it. So oh, I saw somebody just on here from Germany. Andy. Wow, that's pretty fun. Thanks for joining us. Okay, same thing again. I don't know if we have a German. Oh, we do have hollow. I believe that is German. Okay, and I'm going to put my other one down at the bottom. Oh, what did I do with this one? This one has a little goof up. I don't want to pull that off. I don't know if I did that or what. I'm going to do this one. You can keep that snow. Please, I don't want the snow. We had such a beautiful week last week. I'm done. The snow can go. I am definitely finished with snow. Once the flowers start blooming, I'm done. Honestly, I'll tell you, once we hit February and it's kind of starting to go past Valentine's Day, I'm like, okay, ready for spring. All right, so there you go. You have your little different hellos there. Now, just to make this fun, you could also put your little envelope here, and we're going to just stamp something small. And we could just put, what's a good one? What if we do a couple speech bubbles with just some hearts sticking out of them? That'll be cute. Let's do that. So I'm actually going to stamp the speech bubble and then die cut it. Oh goodness, if I can get it off of here. I haven't used this one that often. All right, so here's that. And the heart. I just need a little scrap of white. I had a whole bunch of them here the other day that I was going to throw away, and then I thought, nope, I might just need it. So let's do a real red speech bubble, and then we'll do the hearts in pink. So let's go like this. We have our speech bubble, and let's do, just so it matches, we'll do Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to just kind of stamp these so they're all over. It's not going to make sense until I do it. So I'm just going to go. One more down here. Okay, so there are those. I'm going to give that just 1 minute to dry because I do want to kind of fill them in a little bit. And what I'm going to fill them in with is my Wink of Stella. So anyway, also this envelope does have a little die cut. I just put it together with glue dots. It was really easy. I only needed 2, one for the inside and one for here. Probably should have showed that, but I got a little excited. So I'm just going to take my Wink of Stella and just kind of go right. It may bleed the red and the pink, but it's okay for me anyway. If it's not for you, you don't have to do it. Still can't believe that. Down. Snow's gone. It stopped just like that. I'm going to give this 1 second just to dry, and then I'm going to die cut this here. Hello, Is that Louise from Puerto Rico? And Lena from Canada? That's okay, you came in late. We were just talking about boxes and measurements. You didn't really miss anything entirely too earth-shattering, so I'm going to do one thing real quick. Let's have a little scrap here, just in case I have a little wet spot. All right, so I'm going to line this up. And then I also have those little resin hearts, and I think I might add a couple of those to this as well. So I'm just going to die cut this. And you could even die cut a piece to kind of stick this out. So I don't know. We'll have to look. Let's see what it looks like. And if we feel like we need it, we'll add one. It won't be that hard to cut one out. So I didn't line it up exactly as I would have liked, but that's okay. Let's do a foam. So I'm going to add one more foam. And the nice part about this is I'm just kind of adding this to like add a slight embellishment because we have all these different hellos on here and bonjour, bonjour, oh, bonjour. Listen to me, I don't even know how to speak. We don't really need to add a greeting, but I just thought it'd be kind of funny to add, or not funny, a little bit fun to add this little envelope. Same thing again, I'm just lining this up. Just like so. The only thing I have to do is make sure that my hearts are facing the correct direction. So I want to make sure it goes this way. And then we'll just kind of put this here like that. And like a little bunch of love notes coming out of here. Since this still has some adhesive, you're kind of great because all you're going to do is add a little bit to this. Not a lot, just a smidge. And kind of add that right. I want to make sure it doesn't overlap too much. Right like that. Okay, so we have that. Now I'm going to add just a little white panel to the inside. Man, if I would have got on the ball, this would have made an adorable Valentine's card, huh? Jeez, talk about late to the party as usual, Rachel. Jeez, a whiz. I'm going to add just a little bit of something on the inside here. And I have, hold on, because I had that little teeny piece. Just because it's like postage, I'm going to add this. So this is the other side of the yellow paper. But this is really cute because it looks like postage stamps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this, and then it's just a teeny bit too long. I'm just going to trim it off. But before, let us add, you know what I wish this one had? A miss you. Wouldn't that have been nice? Like a hello would be great, but like a miss you. I'm just going to do happy mail enclosed because it kind of goes with it. And you could also cut this out with that postage stamp punch. It actually will line up with the postage stamp punch. And let's do this one in just to bring in a little bit of Bermuda Bay. We'll do that. Bring the Bermuda Bay. And then what I'll do is I'll put one of those little resin hearts on the dot. So there's that. So I know these two things probably are so far apart, except for the fact that here I said Easter and I didn't actually do anything Easter, but they do technically coordinate. So please forgive me for that. Sometimes I do things the Rachel way, which makes sense to absolutely no one but me. So sorry about that. And I'm just using a little scrap piece. This probably measures about 3/4 of an inch. I'm just going to put it to the bottom and do the best I can lining it up to the edge and to the bottom. And then I'll just, oh, actually, nope, I was going to say, I just need to snip just the tiniest little bit off. It's not very much at all. You can see that little sliver. So make sure this lines up. Just going to give that a second. Make sure it's all the way down at the bottom. And I'm going to take my snips and just trim this little piece off. So I'm clearly going to have to change the caption of this video and say, no, I did not make even slightly an Easter card, but it's cute and there's a box. Maybe that's what my title should be. You never know what you're going to get with this video. Enter at your own risk. But then Facebook probably won't show it to anybody, right? Because they'll think I'm doing crazy stuff. All right, so I have my heart. So I'm going to add a heart or two to this, and then I'm also going to add one to this one here. So the easiest way to do this, which these are part of this Snailed It suite, is just to use the putty tip. So I'm just going to pull one off and put it right there. Perfect. So cute. And then I'm going to add, let me just hit this one more time, make sure it stays flat. And then you can add, we could add a couple hearts on this. So just for the heck of it. Come on. Nope, that one came off of its little thingamajiggy. Did that ever happen to anybody, or is it just me? I'm too forceful. No, it didn't, Rach. Jeez a whiz. Oh my gosh. Okay, so got a little heart here. Sorry, me and my little heart are a little crooked. It went on totally different than how I intended it to go. There's one there. This is like comedy hour here with me and these hearts. Put one over here. I just want it to be straight. Come on. And one more, I'm going to put one more over here. I think it's because they're all in different directions. It's throwing me off. They're not all facing the same direction. They're kind of just willy-nilly on here. All right, so normally we do 3s, but I went a little crazy and went with 4 on that. So I hope you will forgive me for that. But I do think this is really, really cute. Just a little fun. Did we come up with a... You miss getting these? Are these not available? Holy moly. I think they might be on coming to the warehouse. Maybe they're on back order. And I'm going to see if I can get this back on here without retying it. If not, I'll retie it. But we have a couple different box sizes. Nope, look at that. Went on just simply. And I did also share some things that you can put in this. Now, if you are not in the United States watching this, I'm sure you can probably put your little Cadbury or your Nestle sweets in here as well. I'm sure they will fit just beautifully. But here in Maryland, I am a Hershey's girl. I love Hershey's chocolate. I know American chocolate, I think, is a lot more sweet than European chocolate. But I love Reese cups, but only the ones in shapes because I think you get more peanut butter. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me today with this totally non-Easter box and card. I know that makes so much sense, right? Before we disconnect, I'm just going to make sure I didn't miss any comments. So thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it. Thanks, Kathy. Your hearts are in picking. Okay, I think they might just be on back order because I know a lot of that stuff. It's still in the mini catalog. We still have plenty of time for that, so you don't have to worry about anything that is, unless it is really strictly sold out. Most of the stuff is still coming back into stock. It's just because there's a weird catalog schedule this year. Excuse me. A couple things to note: to terracotta tile. I think Rococo Rose, my favorite color. I could probably send everybody my paper. And Pretty Peacock. I believe those re-inkers and paper are sold out. But again, that's from the annual catalog. So let me just check back through. Does the Rainbow Stamper still like to craft? You know, Diana, he does, but not quite as much. Probably because I'm trying to make him not make a mess. But he really needs to make a video. So I'm going to need to remind him. He's on spring break. He should be able to do something live. So I'll see if I can pull that off. Maybe Monday or Friday of next week, because we are doing something Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I don't know if I will be on next week or not. It'll kind of be a wait and see kind of thing. But I will try my best to see if I can get him to do a video one of those 2 days, even if it's a quick one. And thank you, Shar, for the compliment. I appreciate it. Oh, I did, Karen. See, you're right. I did put Easter candy in the box. So technically it was Eastery something. Thanks, Karen. You're always there for me. And Judy, you had snow off and on all day, and now it's melting. Well, that's good. At least it's melting. Hopefully it's the kind that at least you don't have to clean up, right? And I want to thank you, everyone who joined me, even people from across the pond. Thank you so much. Do I speak German? No, that must be somebody that's not a crafter. I have a feeling. How much you want to bet? Let's see. What else? Anything else I missed? You're okay with 40 degrees. Ew, that's still a little chilly for me. Okay. And I think I got pretty much everything. So I will put all the measurements on later. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. I am going to do a giveaway for April. I have still some other new stuff to give away. So make sure that if you are, first of all, leaving a comment, I will draw for my March people for comments. I'll do that very soon. But if you have a $50 order in April, and I'll go for April 1st through the 30th. So if you have a $50 order, I'll put you in. I will give you an entry to win a brand new stamp set. I have quite a few that I ended up not using, and now they're retiring. So no point in getting them inky at this point. So I will be giving those away, but I won't draw for those until the end of the month. So if you make a purchase in my online store, rachthestamper.stampinup.net, it will automatically qualify you to get one of those freebies. I will just do a drawing for that, and then I will try to draw some of my comment winners for March tomorrow and put them onto my blog. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I did do my catalog selector yesterday, so the catalogs I believe should be getting mailed out possibly in the second week of April, so hopefully you will get them thereafter. So if you are a customer of mine who has purchased within the last year, you will automatically get a catalog. If you don't have a demonstrator and you are in the United States, if you'd like to send me your mailing address to rachthestamper@gmail.com, I'd be happy to send you out a complimentary catalog. Thank you guys so much for watching me. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed Easter, and that you have some time with family and friends, whether it is or isn't social distanced. You know, everybody does their own thing. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Easter, and I will see you all sometime next week. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.